Hey, this is James. Welcome back to the channel. So glad you are here. We've got a lot to cover today. Multiple people have pulled their programming or have allowed their contract to expire with Daystar. To be honest, folks, this reminds me a lot of the demise of the Pac-12. For those of you who aren't sports fans, I will explain it like this. UCLA and USC decided to jump ship because the contract between the Pac-12 conference was not doing well negotiating with ESPN or Fox. And so UCLA and USC were the first two to leave and join the Big Ten. Later on, and I don't remember the order actually, Oregon and Washington joined the Big Ten, and then Colorado, Utah, Arizona, and Arizona State joined the Big 12, which literally, and then Cal and Stanford joined the ACC, which is weird because you got two West Coast teams in the Atlantic Coast Conference, which literally left Oregon State and Washington State by themselves, and they are trying to rebuild and make a new Pac-12 conference. But that new Pac-12 conference isn't worth nearly as much as far as a TV deal compared to what it used to be. And that's exactly what I think is happening at Daystar. According to this article by the Reuters Report, Jesse Deanis has left. Well, he basically allowed the contract to expire. Lance Wallano, I'm not familiar with some of these folks. I know Jack Graham. I don't know the Kunnemans. Hank and Brenda, I'm not familiar with them either. I will just say this. Some of these people are not saying the things that Laura Lynn Tyler Thompson did. She took an ethical stand. In fact, the other one Baruch Corman of Love Israel, his Messianic ministry, they took a public stand against what Joni Lamb failed to do. She failed to protect her daughter-in-law against that chiropractor. She failed to protect her granddaughter against a family member, allegedly. And see, the thing, here's the bottom line when it comes to that. Look at Daystar's response to scandal compared to the Line of Fire Ministries. You may or may not like Dr. Michael Brown, but look at the people that Dr. Michael Brown answers to. His board of directors, as soon as the scandal hit, they immediately asked him to suspend activity, and they ordered an independent third-party investigation. Daystar's pattern has been to cover it up, cover it up, cover it up. Let's not talk about it. Let's sweep it under the rug. And Daystar has the power to make this right. They just need to do an independent third-party investigation. But why did Jesse leave? Why did Lance leave? Why did Jack Graham leave? Why did the Kunnemans leave? I hope I'm pronouncing their name right. If I butchered that, I'm sorry. I'll tell you why. And I feel like God is so good. When I felt the call to ministry in college, I was going to take, I just wanted to get a degree so that I could go to seminary. And I was going to do management. I thought, well, a pastor is a leader. You should take some management courses. And it was recommended to me to do marketing instead. And it is a very people-oriented discipline. But it also enables me to look at these numbers, at what Daystar is doing. Remember, the data that I've looked at says very clearly that the majority of the money coming in isn't through donations. They're only getting $38 million a year through donations when they do the telethons. The majority of the money that comes in are the fees that they charge the programs. And the better the time slot, the more money you have to pay. We do know for a fact that when Hal Lindsey was alive, his ministry was paying over $360,000 an episode. Excuse me. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And if you're daily, I mean, hypothetically, if you were on 50 weeks a year, because they do telethons twice a year for a week. So if you do 50 shows, or if you do 5 shows a week times 50 weeks, times $100,000 an episode, that's $25 million. That's a lot of money. That's why Jesse got off of there. And I'm not talking his theology. Forget about his theology for a second. Let's just talk business sense. Somebody within Jesse Duplantis Ministries was smart enough to pull Jesse Duplantis aside and say, hey, look, we're spending all this money on a network that is really under fire right now. We need to get out of there, put our show online, and just advertise it using social media. And we can save a ton of money and cut expenses. So regardless of what you think of him as a person, you may consider him a wolf in sheep's clothing. I have my doubts. I think he's too wrapped up in money, for sure. I think his prosperity gospel has blinded him to that. But as far as I know, he's still, preaching Jesus. Remember, Paul said, and I'll have to go back and look it up, but even those that preach Jesus out of wrong reasons, it's going to bear good fruit. So I'm just grateful that with all the smiling and everything he's preaching, I would hope that he would repent one day and get rid of the big house and use that money to be of benefit to others. We're going to talk about that tomorrow, by the way. But the bottom line is this. I am calling on Daystar to do an independent third-party investigation. I don't want Daystar to fall apart like the Pac-12 did. I want them to be strong, and I want them to be about the purpose which they started out with. They started out with a good purpose. The purpose was to proclaim the gospel of Jesus Christ to the world. That's a good thing to do. Forget about the mansions. Forget about the planes. Forget about money. Do it for the right reasons, and God will bless it. Daystar had the power and ability to do a telethon to help the people in Western North Carolina, and they failed to do it. Their telethon was 3 weeks after the tragedy of Hurricane Helene. Did they help anybody in North Carolina? As far as I know, the answer is no. Be like Dr. Evil. How about no? That's what they need to do. And when they take their eyes off of themselves and they focus on serving others, you see the way, it says it all in 1 John. The way you love God is by loving people. That's where Daystar needs to focus on. That's the direction they need to go in. If they really want to repent from all of this wackiness, you love God by loving people. So, thank you, Julie. Thank you to the Royce Report. Please go check out the articles. I would highly encourage you to support them. I'm fine. I'm doing well. I'm very blessed. I don't need any help, at least not yet. One day, God willing, we'll start a nonprofit. I want to do a halfway house in Waco, Texas for women who've been abused. But that's down the road. I'm not ready to do that yet. I I still have a day job that I really love, and I serve people and I care for people, and I do ministry during the day. So, but if I ever do this full time, that will be my number one project. I promise you that. Anyway, in the meantime, if you are new, please hit like and subscribe. I can't thank you enough for this community. I do read your comments periodically throughout the day. I may not get a chance to respond to everybody, but I'm telling you, the vast majority of this audience, you make me all warm and fuzzy inside because you get it. You understand. You know, the gospel of Jesus Christ changes us from within. So we go from being selfish and self-centered to being caring and compassionate towards other people. So wolves in sheep's clothing only care about themselves. So anyway, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you tomorrow.